Hey, everybody. Welcome. I hope y'all can hear me. I hope I'm unmuted. I hope that I am live right. Hey. So, I'm in my new studio. I have an amazing wife that built the studio for me, and it is awesome. I sanded that door, though. That's about the only thing I did was sand that door. But I took it off, sanded it, did all the stuff. It's awesome. There's a little bit of an echo. We're gonna have to get some stuff in here to soak up some of that sound. But man, it is beautiful in here. I love it. So thank you, Tiffany. I love you too. All right, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We're gonna get to an interview I did with Kelsey German here in a little bit. But I had some other stuff I want to talk about first. And if you don't know who Kelsey German is, just search her name. She's done a ton of interviews before for the last 4 years. But she is the sister of Libby German. And Libby German and Abby Williams were killed 4 years ago in Delphi, Indiana. And here is a... So I'll tell you the story in just a minute, but here's a picture of Abby and Libby. Libby's on the left, Abby's on the right. So, yeah, they were brutally murdered in broad daylight on February 13th, 2017. They happened to get some video footage of the guy that is suspected of killing them while he was walking across the Monon High Bridge in Delphi, Indiana. So we'll get to all that. I'm going to go through all that. I've got some updates on some Suzanne Morphew stuff because I've been getting text messages and Facebook messages and all kinds of stuff for the past week. So I'm going to touch base on some of that stuff. A lot of you out there have been doing a lot of research, and I appreciate it because a lot of the times I don't have time to do a whole lot of research, but I try to do as much as I can when I can. Yeah. So I am going to start with saying a couple of things. I feel really bad. I missed my stepmom Joanne's birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, Joanne. I sent her a text today. I don't think I've missed her birthday for a long time, but it was her birthday yesterday, and I feel really bad I missed it. Today would have been my grandpa, Ollie Western Dude Draper's birthday, but he died a long time ago when I was a little boy. But yeah, I'm sure he's looking down on us right now. Probably saying, "Hey, man, make sure you're alive. Make sure you're alive. Don't start talking if you don't know." So anyway, all right, let's jump into this Suzanne Morphew thing, stuff. So because I'm really interested in this. So I've been getting a lot of screenshots, stuff like that. I'm going to upload one of them. So if you're not familiar with the Suzanne Morphew case, I'm sorry, because I'm not going to run it down right now, but I'll give you the gist of it. Suzanne Morphew went missing on Mother's Day of 2020, May 10th. Her husband was out of town. Her daughters were out of town on Mother's Day. Her husband said he had to go to do a job in Broomfield, which is right by Denver. Oh, yeah, they're from Maysville, Colorado, by the way. That's where she went missing from. But so he was supposedly supposed to be doing a job up in Maysville or in Broomfield that same day. He was going to go set up a job site for some people on Monday. Well, there's some weird stuff about that because according to officials and a report from Lauren Scharf a few months back, you can't work on Sunday in Colorado without a permit. And he definitely didn't have a permit to work up there, to build a wall. So that's what he said he was doing. That's just I'm skimming across the top because there's a lot more to that case. But so I'm going to pull some stuff up, not for you guys, but I got to read it, but I don't have like screenshots of all of it. There's a lot. There's some few points I want to bring up. Sorry, my eyes are itching. I just put eye drops in. Some of them burn. And the ones I just put in are hurting. All right. I am going to try to upload these because these are super interesting and I want you all to see them. So bear with me. I didn't think I would need them, but I got literally on my way home, I got some new information on Facebook. So I'm going to upload all these or download, I guess, and then upload them to my stuff. And yeah, keep on trucking. So how many of you remember Cody Lambert? Okay. If you don't, I'll tell you who he is. Cody Lambert was one of the workers that worked for Barry Morphew. Barry owned a landscaping company, apparently. I don't know if it was a legal one because he was delinquent on all his stuff, on all his business paperwork, blah, blah, blah. All right, I think I got it all now. So, Cody Lambert, I got this on my way home. It was on Chaffee County's Crime Stoppers Facebook page. So it says he's got 3 misdemeanor warrants. 6'2", 240 pounds, blue eyes, age 23. Man, the last picture I saw of old Cody, he didn't look this old. He's had a rough few months because he didn't look like that last time I saw him. So yeah, what I'm thinking is going on. He's the second one I think this week that got arrested. There was another guy that is associated with Barry. That Barry gets a lot of his work through, and I'll pull him up. I got a picture of this cat. So this guy's name is Kevin. I'm going to say this last name wrong. Dyselin. I don't know. I don't know how to say it, but Kevin was born and raised in Chaffee County. Well, congratulations, Kevin. And graduated from Buena Vista High School. Kevin began working for DSI as a trade foreman and has advanced to general superintendent. So if in case you don't know, he didn't work his way up to nothing. His name is on the company. So Deslin something Enterprises or whatever, or not Enterprises, Industries, sorry. But yeah, so they can blow smoke all they want, but that's not, it's obvious there's some nepotism going on there when your name is on the company, daddy's name or whatever. So Barry gets a lot of work through there. I've heard some shady things about that company, DSI, like bodies could be buried out wherever they're at the salvage yard or whatever it is. So yeah, pretty shady. I'm just saying I heard it. I don't know if there's bodies out there, but it's a dump or a salvage yard or some crap. I don't know what it is, but I'm still loading these up. Don't think I'm just jabbering for no reason because I'm loading these up that I want to share. Okay. So speaking of Barry's shady deals, see if I can find number one here. Here's number one. So this is somebody that posted. Oh, there's a bad word, so just don't pay attention to that. Says, I appreciate what you're saying, but these messages aren't going to Barry. This is somebody who was trying to get a hold of Barry. Try this number. He needs to hear it. And then it says, okay, is this CBI or FBI? It's neither, trust me. And she says, who are you? He says, do you even know? She says, do you even know Barry, or has his number been recycled? I'm someone Barry beeped over a couple years ago, have his old phone. So what's going on is Barry sold his BLM company in Indiana to this guy, and he's mad. So let's see why he's mad. Oh, there's one again. There's two, four, four, three. I don't have two. Where's two? One. Dang it. Is this it? No. Okay, hold on. I'm getting two, I promise. I got it. Where are you, two? There you are. Okay, two didn't download right, but I'm getting it right now. Cancel. Open. Where you at, two? I can't see nothing. Okay, I'm just going to read it off here because I can't get it to load. It says, he changed numbers after I bought this phone along with the business. The number I gave you is his current number. And then the person responds, last time I talked to Barry, he was selling BLM to a guy named Kyle. So he's selling his company to multiple people. That's how shady this dude is. So here's three. You're right. That was one sale of the same business. I bought BLM after Kyle. There were multiple BLMs out there because he kept selling the same business I bought in 2018. What a piece of, you know what? Thanks for letting me know. I worked for Barry at Salisbury and worked with him off and on when we both started our own companies. You still in business? Yes, still in business, but probably going to have to shut it down or do as a side job. Do you have prior landscaping experience? I guess they're trying to give each other jobs over here. So, where's four? There it is. He says, no, just had an interest in it for personal projects like friends and family. We kept an employee Barry had, and he is an awesome operator. Without him, we'd be screwed. I'm 47, so manual labor is too much at this. I feel you, homie. So we have 2 full-time employees and do yards for Arbor Homes with some residential folks. Can I call you later, be able to help you? Yes, that'd be fine. Okay, so Barry's selling this business to a bunch of different people. That's pretty shady. All right, we got some more stuff here. This is some property type of stuff. I was getting all kinds of stuff. Let me go back to Cody real quick. I wonder what Cody did. I alluded to this, but I think that what's going on is they're rounding up people close to Barry. And I think that what they're doing is they're picking them up on these misdemeanor warrants or other issues. They're probably bringing them in and they're probably putting those hot lights on them and getting a good cop and a bad cop. And they're probably interrogating them, putting pressure on them. Hopefully somebody will slip up or somebody will get scared enough to start talking. I don't know if Cody's the one that would get scared enough, but there's some in that circle that I guarantee would start talking, start squealing like pigs, like Chad Daybell. All right. I found out today also that Barry took out one of those PPP loans. Anybody know what those are? So I believe it is called what is it? Personal. It's like a small business loan. And what you're supposed to use it for is for payroll and stuff like that. And when you're signing this application and putting your name on it, it says that's what you're going to use this money for. Well, let me get over here. So Barry, what he did was he took out one of these loans for like $54,000. Okay. So I'm trying to find this post from earlier. Yeah, here we go. So he takes this loan out for $54,000, and I guarantee he didn't use it for payroll because he fired all the people that he had working for him. He called them meth heads and all kinds of stuff. Said people were crazy. So he definitely didn't use it for payroll. I wonder what he used it for. I remember him driving around in a brand new white pickup. So those go, I don't know how much those are, but 54,000, pretty good down payment on a big old pickup. So I'm gonna show you. I mean, this person that sent me this, she ain't no joke. She got all kinds of evidence all the time. She can send me paperwork to back up what she finds. Some good stuff. Except I can't get it to flip and load. All right. Here we go. Where is it? I'm just going to look on my desktop because that's where I think it's going. Here it is. All right. Right here. This is from federalpay.org. PPP loan information. It says jobs retained 9. So he's trying to say that he's what a liar, man. He didn't even have 9 people working for him. So he takes out a loan 8 days before Suzanne goes missing, right? 8 days. He's saying that he had 9 people working for him. Okay, maybe he did. I don't know, but we've only heard of a few, and I can name some of them. Cassidy Cordova, Morgan Gentile, Cody Lambert, Jeff Puckett. That's all I can name. I don't know anymore. Barry Morphew. I don't know who else works for him. Who does meth up there? That's who worked for him probably, because that's what he always says. I work with a bunch of meth heads. Well, you hired them, so quit complaining about them, Barry. And by the way, they probably didn't run out of energy because meth heads can work for days. All right. So it says right here, the loan was approved 5/2/2020, 8 days before Suzanne went missing. Lender was the Bank of the West. It says Sunset Farms LLC received a paycheck protection loan of $53,745 through Bank of the West, which was approved in May 2020. It says based on standard PPP eligibility rules, Sunset Farms LLC total 219 payroll expenses were approximately $257,976. I don't see how he made that much money. I mean, he made more than that because that's just his payroll, unless he was in the red, because his work sucks. They had to tear down that whole wall that he built because it was so crooked and so messed up. And speaking of that wall, do you remember Lauren Sharf's interview, or not interview, but report? I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. But Lauren Sharf had a report on that wall. And she was talking about a guy named Tony Miller that owns this company called EA Outdoors. And she said he was a friend of Barry's. He's got a company out in Indiana, and he hires Barry to do this wall over here. And he messes it up, and he does, I mean, they're buddies, okay? That's why he's hiring Barry. There's something shady going on because Barry sucks at what he does. His work's terrible. So all these buddies are hiring him to do stuff. And I think it's like on, if you watch The Sopranos, it's like, what do they call them? No-show jobs. You just show up, sit in a lawn chair, and collect a check. That's what those mobsters would do. So let me see if I can pull this up. All right. So what this is another form that this lady sent me, this person, this investigative genius. It says in 2017, 2018, this is real estate property information, residential. And right here, I got to lean in. Hold on. I'm going to have to maximize this screen. All right, there we go. So it says Barry Morphew, Morphew, Barry L., and Suzanne, deeded owners. And in 2019, it was Anthony D. Miller. Oh well, that sounds familiar. Anthony D. Miller. Anthony is Tony is short for Anthony. That's his buddy. They own property together. So in 2011, so what we're figuring out here, or what everybody I saw commenting, you notice the property address is 0 Moss Island Road. Okay, it's 0, and it says 1 acre. I don't know if that's accurate, but what people were trying to say was that was some hunting spot. They probably sit up in a tree on this tree stand on this property and shoot deer that come up and lick some salt that they set out. Big hunter guy. I'm not against hunting. I'm just saying, like, that's not really hunting. That's baiting the deer in and shooting them. So, all right, here's another interesting. I know this is all. I'm all over the place with this, but you know, I'm just showing you what kind of businessman this guy is. Everybody says, "Oh, he doesn't have any money problems. He's rich, all that." Okay. He ain't rich. He's got all kinds of problems. All right. What this is this is like search results. When you search Barry Morphew, super search, it says. When you got this many, I guess it's a super search. But what this is cases, civil cases, stuff like that, when Barry was sued for at a lot of different times. And I'm sure it's because of his crappy work. But here it is, defendant, civil. That was in 2007. There's one in 2016. He's a defendant. Defendant, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 defendants. This is only one page. So I guess there might be 19 on this page, but then there's these other ones. He's got a citation. Some of them are speeding tickets and stuff, but all these that say civil right here under type, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11, and there's most of them are he's the defendant. There's somewhere he's the plaintiff, but that's when people are suing him for some reason. You know, you're not a defendant for a civil case unless you're getting sued or something. So, you know, if some lawyer wants to chime in, go ahead, but that's what I understand. So, all right. Gosh, I'm telling you, this has been a good week to find out what kind of businessman Barry is, because, man, there's all kinds of people gathering up info. I like it. I appreciate it. Thanks for sending it to me. I'm just checking to make sure there's nothing I missed. No, I don't think so. All right. I think that's all for this. But, okay, let's keep an eye on a couple of things. I forgot to tell you about Kevin Desselin. I got one more thing to talk about. So this Kevin Desselin guy, Dieselin, I don't know how to say his name. I'm bad at pronouncing names. And it's usually like names that don't sound nothing like they're spelled. You know, like Brett Favre. I mean, I know how to say that because he's a football player, but all right. Anyway, this Kevin Desselin guy, he got arrested recently too. And he's also associated with Barry. So the thing about that is, okay, so he was arrested on actually, no, this is when his hearing was 2/1/21. Let me pull this up so y'all can see it. 2/1/21. I know. Takes me forever to get these. All right, I'm just going to read it. I'm not going to try to do this. 2/1/21, 4 p.m., 1 hour, Kevin Desselin, hearing on advisement. D82021JV2. I don't know what that means. He's not on the varsity. He's on the junior varsity. Chaffee County Division 2. That's a court. So anyway, he's in trouble for something. So they're rounding all these people up. A lot of the people that Barry had working for him have been arrested since all this. And I don't know if it's to put pressure on them or what, but yeah, there's been a lot of them. And I think I even have a list here of who was arrested when and what for. So Morgan was arrested for, what was it? I remember George Davis, I think it was his dad, got arrested because his dog bit somebody during the search or something. All right, here it is. It says, since Suzanne went missing, Morgan was arrested for theft. Cassidy was arrested for driving without a license. And plus he had some DUI stuff going on because I recorded his hearing. So I remember that. Some guy named Joe Pacheco, who supposedly was a spy that got sent into Andy's search. He's one of Barry's buddies. He's a business pal of Barry's, it says here, and he was arrested and convicted of fraud. So, and not for the search, but that goes to show. And then now let's see what they got on Cade, Deisel, and Desselin. Says, and they say they have a feeling Anthony Miller will be next. Go, go, go. All right. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of, let's jump over to the Delphi case. So those of you who haven't heard of the Delphi case, like I said earlier, it happened in 2017. And I'm going to give you a brief rundown. So Abby was staying at Libby's house, and Libby lives with her grandmother and her grandfather, Becky and Mike Patty. And Kelsey also lived there, I believe, because I believe she was still in high school when this happened. She was a senior the next year, I think. But anyway, so they had a snow day this day, I believe. Yeah, it was a Monday, February 13th. It was a snow day. It was a snow day, but it wasn't snowing. It's weird. They let them out because they accounted for so many snow days and it didn't snow that much. So they let them out this day because it was unseasonably warm. So the girls Libby and Abby wanted to go to the high bridge. So Libby's grandmother, Becky, made a deal with them. And she said if the girls will help her with some filing and stuff that she had to do, that she'd give them some spending money. And maybe later that day she'd take them shopping. But she at first she wasn't wanting to take them to the high bridge or whatever, I guess. But okay. All right. So it says here at 1 p.m., the girls asked Libby's grandma Becky if they could go to the Monon High Bridge Trail. The grandma says yes, but only if they were able to arrange for a ride there and back. So the girls ended up asking Kelsey to take them, and that's Libby's older sister, the one that I interviewed that I'm going to play the recording. I don't know if any of you are ever confused about what she's not coming on live. I recorded her because she is in college right now, and she works, so the only time that she could do it was early in the morning, and we did that yesterday morning. We recorded it. So, and it's not very long. She's really busy. She's going to college at Purdue, which is a strange connection with the Morphews. I did ask her if she knows the Morphews. I didn't ask her on camera, but she doesn't know who they are, which is, you would think that everybody knows that stuff, but they don't. So anyway, back to the story. Libby asked Kelsey to drive them. And Kelsey says she can drive them there, but she can't bring them back. So Libby asked her dad, Derek, if he can pick them up afterwards, because he says he can do it, but he was taking photos of some appraisal business or something. So he was in Frankfurt. So he said it would be in 2 hours or so. So Kelsey drops him. Kelsey picks them up from her grandma's. I don't know where she was before that, but she comes and picks them up at 1:30 p.m. on February 13th, 2017. And it says here, 1:38, phone records indicate Kelsey's boyfriend calls her at 1:38. Kelsey remembers already being on the phone with him when she dropped the girls off, meaning the drop-off could not have been any earlier than 1:38. Okay, so 1:38 they get dropped off. Remember these times because it's important. So around this time, Libby calls and asks her dad, Derek, if he could give them a ride back. I guess they hadn't talked to him yet, but it said up there they did. Derek agrees to be their ride back from the trail. And yeah, they're just repeating what I said before. Once he's done taking pictures, he's going to come. Said there was no set time for the girls to be picked up. Derek said he would call or text them once he was getting close to arriving, and then they'd return to the trailhead. Okay. So I'm going to see if I can share this screen with you because it's pretty cool. So here's a map of the area. So earlier this year in September, Tyson and I went up to Delphi. And I'll tell you, it was an experience. It wasn't a pleasurable trip. I'll tell you that. It was pretty creepy and it was pretty sad. There's a sad stuff hanging around the Monon High Bridge, so like a funk or something. I don't know what you'd call it, but anyway, let me stretch this out a little bit because it's a little bigger than what I got on here on the screen. Okay, that's better. So what it says here is, I don't know if you guys can see my little, you probably can't. Yeah, you can see this. All right, so up here, there used to be an old CPS building, and there was a suspicious car parked there during this time. And over here it says it was the offender's car. I mean, they don't know that for sure, but that's what they're saying. Well, right here, there's a bridge called the Freedom Bridge, and it goes right over the Hoosier Heartland Highway. So the drop-off point, you have to go off of this highway, around this old state road, underneath the highway, and then go right past this CPS thing. And then over here is some houses, some really old historical houses. And then here's the drop-off point. Me and Tyson filmed a video of us walking up this. About right here, there's a memorial for the girls. And then you go walk up this trail, and it'll take you right to the bridge. And there's a bunch of forest and stuff here. That's what all this gray area is, forest land. So here's the bridge right here. So here's a cemetery. Apparently, about right here is where the girls were found, 50 feet off of the Deer Creek right there. This is Deer Creek. It runs underneath the bridge. That bridge is old. That bridge is rickety. I got about 5 feet out there, and I wasn't having nothing to do with it. Tyson went across the whole thing a couple of times, but I ain't Tyson, and I'm not going on that bridge. I did get a piece of it, though. Where'd that go? Oh, it's right here. I keep it here. Yep. Remind me. All right. So, continuing with the story. Oh, I want to mention, I don't want to interrupt the story too much, but I just want to mention that thank you all for subscribing to the channel, because I just passed 1,000 in 1 week. And that is like really crazy. Like, I looked up the other day, how long does it take to get 1,000 followers? Because I couldn't remember from when Tyson did it. And plus that was different because he had that Barry video and he shot up really fast, but it said 22 months. So I did it in a week, not because anything I did, because of you guys helping me. So I'm going to keep this up here while I do this so you guys can just look at it too. All right. So here's Deer Creek. Here's a close-up section of the bridge. See where it is right there. Well, you can see it right here now. So let me go back up here. I got to read this. It says, Kelsey drops him off at an interest of Monon High Bridge Trail that is across from Mears Farm, an unofficial parking area. They were not dropped off at the Freedom Bridge parking area. Me and Tyson made that mistake when we made our video. Kelsey watches the girls walk until they got onto the trail. Kelsey does not notice anything unusual at the parking area before driving off. I mean, why would you? She wasn't thinking anything was going to happen. All right. There's the map again. Abby and Libby start walking down the trail. It says Abby and Libby reached the beginning of the bridge. Then we don't know what time that was. I know that it takes probably a good, from where they got dropped off, probably a good 5 to 7 minutes to get over there. And it looks exactly like that when you walk in. Now, creepy. So here's a picture of Lib. You can't really see it that good, but I'm sure if you've followed the case, you've seen it. That Libby, or Liberty is what it says here. She took this picture of Abby walking on the bridge, and she posted it to Snapchat. And both of those, that one and this one, were both posted to Snapchat. And so then after she did that, that was at 2:07 p.m. So they know that for sure, because they went 2:05 and 2:07 because they went back and checked Snapchat. All right, because people downloaded it or whatever. I don't really know how Snapchat works, but stuff disappears from there sometimes, I guess. But anyway, at an unknown time after the 2 Snapchat uploads, Liberty starts taking a video on her cell phone. Police say the girls mostly talk about stuff girls talk about in the recording, but later the girls mention of a man they notice behind them on the bridge. Okay, what they're talking about here, the police did release a little clip, that one right there, and then also of audio of this guy saying guys, and then he says down the hill. So there was more on that video, and the family got to listen to. I asked Kelsey about that, and you'll hear her answer in a minute. I asked her if she saw that, and I'll let her answer it. But Sheriff Lesenby, that guy's name is Tobe Lesenby, says it appears the girls initially took pictures for fun, but later became uncomfortable and recorded the video as a precaution. And I asked Kelsey about Libby and her, if that was normal, would have been normal for her to do something like that, and I'll let her answer. But in the released video, it is believed that Libby's perspective is from the southeastern side of the bridge, looking back towards the north. So that would be down here. See that? And looking, let me get the big picture back up. Looking back down that way. So they were already across the bridge, is what they're thinking. And this guy followed them across the bridge. And so they started taking pictures back that way. Because, I mean, how weird would that be? You're a little girl and there's some creepy dude coming up on you, you know? Like, yeah, it'd be scary. I don't know if you guys can hear the audio if I play this or not, but I'm going to play it anyway. Okay, if you couldn't hear that, just look it up. Just say bridge guys down the hill and go listen to it. Or you can watch that video that I put out, and it's on there. I reposted episode 1 of my 321 report, and it's on there, and it's comparing his voice to Barry's voice. There for a while, people were putting that out there that might have been Barry, so I just put that together to see if it sounded alike. But I'll tell you one thing. Tyson talked to Barry before he ever heard that bridge guy recording, and he said when he heard that bridge guy recording, the hair on the back of his neck stood up because he said it sounded just like Barry to him. So just saying. Okay. It has been theorized that the offender pulled a weapon or found a way to make the girls comply with his orders. According to an audio snippet from Libby's video recording, at some point the offender said to them, "Guys, down the hill." The path the girls and offender took after leaving the bridge is unknown. The arrows on the map are purely an abstract approximation. They are not intended to be taken literally. In between the southeastern end of the bridge and the body disposal location, why don't they just say crime scene? Maybe they don't think they were killed right there. Maybe that's why he said that. Maybe he thinks they were killed somewhere and he disposed their bodies somewhere. I don't know. There's a shallow section of the creek. This shallow section varies between ankle to knee deep and can be waded through. So what he's talking about is, so guys, down the hill, when you get to the end of this bridge, there's a hill right here. You got to go down here. And then once you get down the hill, there's a road, this private driveway that goes like this. Because a lot of this is private property. This over here where they were found is property of a guy named Ron Logan. And he was arrested after this, not because of this, but because of some other stuff. But he was one of the people they were looking at for a while. So here's Deer Creek. Here's a shallow section right here that they walked across. And there was a strange story about the way they were found. One of the volunteers was looking at some deer, and he was taking some pictures. And then this is how I understand it. I could be wrong, but what I read was he was looking at them and then taking pictures of these deer. And then he was wondering what they were doing over there. And then he pans down, and there's the girls' bodies right there. So that's pretty strange. 3/11. So we don't know when all this happened, but he had a pretty tight window, is from what a lot of people are saying. So Libby's at 3:11 p.m. Let me get this back up here so y'all can see it. 3:11 p.m. Libby's grandmother, Becky, has said call records show Derek called Libby at 3:11, intending to tell them that he was getting close and they should start heading back to be picked up. As a point of reference, Derek remembers he was just starting to drive over the Wilson Bridge when he makes this 3:11 p.m. call. No one answers his call. Okay, I don't know where the Wilson Bridge is. Does it say on these? Let me go back to the one that Wilson Bridge. I don't know where that is. All right. It doesn't matter. Derek pulls into the parking area and does not see the girls. Derek calls Libby's phone, but no one picks up. Derek knows it is not like Libby to ignore his texts and phone calls, especially when she was expecting him to call. He parks his car and begins walking the trails to search for the girls. Okay. Man, it's hard to see this legend here. What's the orange supposed to be? Oh, Derek's a green, and I don't know what that orange is. It says 3:15 p.m. Derek reaches the point where the trails intersect, and he stops a man dressed in a flannel shirt. Maybe that's the man in the flannel shirt. The orange. Yep, because there's the intersection. I remember this because if you keep walking, you can turn right there. That's where the girls were dropped off by Kelsey and where Derek was going to pick them up. But if you keep walking, it takes you to the Freedom Bridge right here. And that's where me and Tyson parked initially. And then when we came back, we parked here to drop off some stuff at that memorial. All right. Derek asked the man with the flannel shirt, "Did you happen to see two girls up there?" And the man replied, "No, I did not, but there's a couple on the bridge." The man with the flannel shirt later becomes a key witness in this case, and he is among the first to give a witness account to law enforcement. Well, he said he didn't. Oh, never mind. FSG, that's what that said on that map. Okay, online discussion outlets have nicknamed him Flannel Shirt Guy or FSG. I've never heard of this guy. Well, I mean, I've heard of him on the trail, but I didn't know they were calling him that. Because Flannel Shirt Guy did not see the girls on the 501 trail, Derek starts walking the other trail that leads directly to the creek's edge called the 505 trail. I walked down that way too. That'll take you down here to the creek, and then you can see the bridge that way. But you're down creek level instead of going up to bridge level this way. I walked that way. I wandered around while Tyson was over that bridge filming. Yeah, I wandered in the woods. It was creepy. It was freaky creepy. He says Derek does not see the girls in the 505, so he returns back up the trail intersection. Derek calls his mother Becky and tells her about not being able to contact or find the girls. Derek asks Becky to try contacting them. Tara, Libby's aunt, was with Becky at the time. Both Becky and Tara start repeatedly calling and texting Libby. They receive no response. So Derek's been walking all over. This is Derek's trail, the green. He's been walking up and down, up and down. From the trail intersection, Derek walks down the trail leading to Freedom Bridge. After not seeing the girls there, he turns around and heads back to the intersection, passing his flannel shirt guy along his way back. 4 p.m., Derek returns to his car at the parking area. At this point, the family, Becky, Tara, and Derek, have been trying to get a hold of Libby for half an hour with no response. Worry sets in. Becky and Tara decide to go to the trail to help Derek look for them. Tara drives straight to the trail while Becky makes a few calls before leaving. Becky calls her husband, Mike, that's Libby's grandpa, who was at work in Lafayette, Indiana, and alerts him to the situation. Mike decides to take off work and drive to the trail to help search. Becky calls Kelsey and alerts her to the situation. Kelsey says she'll call her work and delay her work shift by a few hours so she could help search. Kelsey leaves her boyfriend's house and starts driving to the trail. Tara drives up the parking area and Derek gets into her car. I'm not going to read all this stuff because all it's talking about is just people showing up and helping search. But I'll get to the stuff that's, right here it starts. Kelsey and Cody. I don't know if I told you who Cody is. Now I got to go back. So it's Libby's uncle, Cody. It says Kelsey and Cody cross the Monon High Bridge and arrive at the southeast end. They can see down a hill to the private driveway. They spend 20 to 30 minutes yelling the girls' names from there, but hear no response. From this location, Kelsey calls Libby's phone. She believes the call went through because she can hear it ring on her phone speaker, but Kelsey does not hear it ringing in the area. Kelsey's personal belief was the trail area was quiet enough that if the phone had been near where she was standing, she would have heard it ringing. It is possible that Libby's phone was set to silent or vibrate. All right. Well, finally at 5:20, they call the police, and Becky starts trying to get a hold of Abby's mom, Anna. She finally does, and Anna says she's going to meet him at the police station. So the police arrive quickly after the 5:20 call, and at 6 p.m., a massive search begins. They had all kinds of people out there, and then at 12 midnight, it says the officially sanctioned search is called off by law enforcement due to darkness and a concern for volunteer safety. And that got a lot of flack. Tobe Lesenby, he got a lot of flack for doing that, for calling off that search, because they were like, man, these girls are out here somewhere. Why are you calling off the search? But they were more than likely already gone by then anyway, so nothing really that could have been done. All right, so people kept searching though, but they were definitely out there around 4:32 p.m. It says right here. I don't know if y'all can hear this or not. I'm going to stop this and start it again so I can click on the audio part. Hopefully y'all can hear this because I want you to. Sorry. Sorry. Can y'all hear that? Okay, if you can't hear it, I'm going to turn it off. Sorry. I wish you could hear it. It's interesting, but I'll just keep reading then. All right. So at 10:20 p.m. or 10:20 a.m., volunteers are gathering at the Delphi Municipal Building to search. Said at 11:26, reportedly volunteer searchers are told to avoid the location where the girls last had been seen, east side of the bridge, to preserve the scent of the scene for search dogs. 12:15 p.m., Libby's sister went on the infamous indie podcast hosted by Joe Malillo and described the two search parties in the area during the discovery. Kelsey said the fire department split us all up into groups and we went different places. Some of them were in town Delphi. Some of them were like way out in the country near the high bridge, but nowhere my sister would have went voluntarily. My group that went to High Bridge and another group that was also at High Bridge on the other side of the bridge. All right. Okay, so this is around the time that this is sad right here, and I'm going to tell you it's not easy to read or listen to, but I listened to her saying it on this podcast thing here, and I'm going to read it. It's Kelsey describing recounting the discovery of the bodies on the and below bodies that day. So it says 3 of us chose to cross the bridge to look underneath the bridge. This is Kelsey talking, by the way, on the opposite side, and that's where I ended up hearing that we found the bodies. When you were there, do you remember what you saw? And she said, at High Bridge, and Joe said, right when they found the bodies. And Kelsey says, okay. Well, first off, I was standing on the trail that's right under the bridge, looking out into the woods, and somebody yelled up that they had found a shoe. And when they had found the shoe, they had asked what kind of shoes the girls were wearing. And they yelled out the type of shoe that Libby was wearing. So I yelled down and told them that. Actually, then the person that had asked, that had put up their phone and saw the 2 deer in the ground moving. And so he was looking to see what it might be. He saw 2 deer standing up there. And when he saw them, he moved the camera down. And there, when we found them, he said, did you ever actually go and see them up close at that point? I don't know if I would have asked that question. She answered it, though. She's a trooper. At that point, I had not. I wanted to run towards them, but the girl that was with me in my group had held me down and told me that we don't know who they are yet. We don't know that it's them. We don't know what they look like. We don't know. We don't know anything that's happening right now, so you can't go to them. And so she kind of held me and made sure I stayed there, so I wouldn't go towards them. I'm glad that lady did that. That was a smart move because, man, do you imagine if she would have went over there? I mean, it's already bad enough your sister's dying, but if you see her like that, that would mess me up. It says Becky Patty recounts the discovery. He saw something. He could not figure out what it was. There were 2 deer standing up there, but as he looked up to see what that was, that is when he saw them, said Libby's grandma, Becky Patty. It was a volunteer searcher who discovered the bodies of the Delphi teens lying in the grass between a group of trees deep in the woods. He called his wife, who was with us, and said, we found them. My sister came up and she was crying and she said, I'm so sorry, said Patty. The bodies were found on private property about 50 feet from the shore of Deer Creek. A set of footprints are what led volunteers to the area the bodies were found. That's really super, super sad. So they had a press conference at 2 p.m. saying they had found the bodies. Autopsies began the next morning at 8 a.m. And they were completed at 12 a.m. the next day. Dang. That might be 12 p.m. because that would have been a long autopsy. I'm pretty sure that meant p.m. So anyway, so they had a sketch. Let me go to this. The initial sketch of this guy was the one here on the right, the older looking one. And then last year, I think, or 2019, I think. Yeah, 2019 in April, they came out with the younger looking one. So I'm going to give you all, I want to play Kelsey's interview. But I want to tell you where I'm getting all this information is a website called Actus Reus. This is an amazing timeline. Whoever put this together, and I couldn't find the name of the person because it doesn't tell on the website, but man, that's some good work. I wish they would do one like this on Suzanne Morphew, because this one's, I mean, it's seriously, he's got citations for everything that he does. Check this out. You click on the number and it comes down here. CBS News article, Delphi, Indiana murder. I mean, it's got everything. Whoever did this did some amazing work. Really, I got to give them a shout out. I'll put the link in the description, but yeah. So, no, they haven't been. This is amazing because they have audio of the guy's voice. They have video of him. Apparently, they have DNA, and they haven't found him. There's been a lot of suspects out there, but I mean, a lot of persons of interest, I should say, but nothing. And it's really sad. It really is, because these people are going through all this, like who did it, what did it. And I asked, well, let me just play the interview. And I'm way better on these live shows than I am recorded shows. I'm just going to tell you, I'm not real good at interviewing, but it is what it is. So I am going to share this, and I hope it'll play this time, because I'll get it to play eventually. Can you hear it? I can't hear it. Hold on. Okay, let me know if you can hear this when I start it, okay? I can't hear nothing. Okay, let me figure it out. Let me see if it'll play on my thing real quick. I tried it before, so it worked. I'll figure it out if I gotta post it after this, but we will get it going. I can't hear this one either. Sorry, I punched the thing there. All right, let me see. Here's one. I might just have to play the original. Let's see if that'll play. Downloads. Kelsey interview. Sorry, guys. Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to be with you again today, and I'm happy to announce that I have a very special guest. I am going to talk to Kelsey German today. She is the sister of Libby German. She was one of the girls, along with Abby Williams, that went missing almost 4 years ago now. And they did find them. They were victims of a murder. And unfortunately, um, they haven't found the person responsible yet. But there's many people all over the world trying to help find whoever is responsible for their deaths. So I'm going to bring Kelsey on now. She is currently attending Purdue University. And what are you studying there? Hello, Kelsey, by the way. But what are you studying at Purdue?
I'm studying forensic psychology. So I'm actually doing a psychology major with minors in forensic science and law and society.
Wow, that's awesome. So what are your plans career-wise when you're finished?
Well, I'd like to work in a prison or for a nonprofit working with victims' family members, maybe for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children or
wow,
something along those lines.
That would be amazing. So if you were to work at a prison, what would be the job that you'd want to do there? Like a social, like a counselor or something like that?
Yeah, I would probably work as like a criminal profiler, something along those lines. I would probably counsel the prisoners.
Awesome. Then that was going to be one of my questions first, but I'm going to get to that in a minute. But first, I wanted to ask you, with the 4-year anniversary coming up, how different is your life now than 4 years ago? What's happened to change your life besides the obvious of what happened?
So I had a lot of people in my life that I've met since Libby died that have just been so amazing. I've met so many people that have lost siblings, so many people that have lost cousins, brothers, whoever that might be to them. And just being part of that community just helped me to find my passion to advocate for them.
That's awesome. I get what you're saying about that, because when me and my brother Tyson started the True Crime Channel, we would get stories from all over, and it was people that are going through tragedies, and they're drawn to that community because they've had their own tragedies, and they're trying to help other people to kind of, I wouldn't say get past what happened, but to finally find peace and comfort through and healing through helping other people. Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, so it started out as just trying to find a support system that could help me to understand what I was going through, because there just wasn't anybody around me, anybody in my community that understood really what losing a sibling in such a violent way was. So when I went to CrimeCon and I started meeting all these siblings of victims, I created that support system for me, and that was my way of healing, was in the beginning. But now I want to help find healing for these other people. We're still working for answers, but I've learned to cope and I've learned to grieve. And there's still people out there that don't know how to do that because they don't have this community, this awesome support system in the true crime community that I have. I just want everybody to be able to have that.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad that you found that. One other thing I wanted to ask you about was, you've been so strong through this whole thing. I've watched, just researching for this interview, I've watched a lot of interviews you've done, and I couldn't believe the strength you had. But as far as, I want to relate that to your sister, Libby. Says a lot of people, when this first came out that she recorded the guy on the bridge and that stuff that happened, they were calling her a hero. Is that kind of her character? What she would do is kind of a protector and somebody who was like, okay, whatever happens, I'm going to get this guy, or something like that. Was that her character?
That was very much Libby. She was always trying to make sure that everybody else was okay. And I think that would still be her now. She was just the strongest, bravest person you would ever meet. So that was very much her, very much something she would do. Yeah, just
That's
protecting
great.
others.
That's the way I look at her. And I noticed that I noticed that you did an interview concerning the app, the Crime Door app. And were you involved with like creating that, and especially the scenario that they show on there on the bridge?
Yeah, so I was part of it in a sense that I helped them to. They've never been to the bridge, so I was able to explain what the bridge looks like. For example, in the beginning, they had this picture perfect railroad trestle created, and that's just not what High Bridge is. That bridge is terrifying, and so I helped them to make a more accurate bridge that better depicted what High Bridge really looks like.
Well, you did a wonderful job, because I've been to that bridge. My brother and I went there in September, and I would only go about 5 feet out there because of how terrible it looked. I mean, the big holes, the rotting. You guys did a great job, because I watched one of those, the depiction of that, and it was spot on. And another thing I wanted to revert back to, involving my question, I noticed that when it showed Abby and Libby in that scenario, Libby was in between Abby and the guy. It's like she was that protector, and I thought, man, that is cool, because that's exactly how I thought that would have happened from what I've learned about Libby through this whole process.
Oh yeah, and it's just a best guess. There's actually other people that have done like videos that have went out to the bridge and tried to mimic the exact spot that this guy would have been in. And so based on those videos, that was our best guess of where they would have been at the point of that video.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so next question I got for you. What did you think when they came out with a different sketch? When that sketch came out, did you get some advance notice of that before the press conference that happened?
So at that point, I was actually still going to Ball State, and I was at Ball State. I had finals that week, so I had to stay there. And my family was all notified about 10 minutes before the press conference of what they were going to be releasing. So they were all in a little room and being told about it. My grandma tried to call me before, but she didn't have time. So I was notified about the same time as the public was. And it was so heart-shattering. It felt like we'd been looking for this one person, this old man, forever. And now we're looking for somebody completely different. It kind of felt like all of that work we'd done was kind of not worthless, but like we'd wasted our time looking for one person, and now we're looking for somebody else.
Do you have it? Yeah. Do you have any ideas why that they changed like that? Like, do you have any idea? I mean, I don't want you to give anything away that you might know, but do you? Did they totally change what they think the person they thought it was, and then, or was it just they had a bad sketch the first time?
All they really ever told us was it was advancements in knowledge and technology. So I think they just had a better understanding of who this person might be, and decided that this second sketch was probably more accurate.
All right. Yeah, that was. I saw some of the video from that, and some of the reactions of the people there in Delphi, and yeah, it looked like that they had the same reaction you did. Like, I can't believe that this is happening now after we've been looking for this person. Another question that goes along with something you said earlier when I asked you about the prison, you said you might want to do some profiling. So have you worked on, this is probably a dumb question because I'm sure you have, but have you worked on a profile for who Bridge Guy? Do you call him Bridge Guy, by the way?
That's the only thing we really know what to call him. So yeah, that's what we go with.
So do you have a profile you've created who you think that?
I haven't really. It just doesn't make sense to me how somebody who hasn't done it before goes straight to killing two girls. Through all of my research, that's one thing I've never found was a first-time offender going out in public and killing two girls in broad daylight. That's just not something that happens, especially two young girls, especially one bigger than the other one who definitely could have fought him off. So, yeah, that's all I have. I've never really created a profile. I just feel like I haven't done all of my forensic psychology classes enough to go into that. But yeah, someday.
Yeah, it does seem like that if that was his first murder, let's say, or first event, from all I've read about and learned about, you don't go from zero to a million,
Mhm.
like you're saying. So, yeah, I agree with you there. I don't think that's probably not the road they should look down as first time person. But okay, I don't. I don't know if you're able to talk about any of this, but I'll ask you anyways. I've heard rumors that there's people or that there's information that they've shared with you guys that they haven't shared with the public. Like one of the things that I read about this morning was they said that you guys were able to listen to audio from Libby's phone. Is that true?
I believe that my grandparents and Anna all listened to a lot of the video. I never did. I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
blame you.
yeah, I don't. I think that they just wanted to see if they knew the voice. So I think what they heard was just what's been put out there, but a
Yeah.
little bit more extended.
Yeah, and the only reason I asked that question is because I was going to see if maybe it helped you. I didn't want to know, like, I don't want to put you on the spot to ask you what it was. I just wanted to see if it might have any of that information might have helped your family go in a certain direction to who you might be looking for, where they're from. Do you think the bridge guy might be from the Delphi area, or do you think that he was just some guy roaming around?
I definitely think he has to be local. He definitely knew that bridge pretty well. I know people in Delphi that didn't know that bridge was there. So you definitely have to know the trail system to know where High Bridge is, and to even know High Bridge exists, you have to know the area. So, yeah, he's local, or at least knows Delphi.
Yeah, I'll agree with that because when Tyson and I went to Delphi, we started on the other end of town and we started walking and we didn't realize we were way off. We were way on the other side of town, so we had a long walk and then we had to stop in town and ask people where to go. So yeah, it's not like it's just right there and you could see it or anything. You got to walk pretty good ways to get in there. So. Well, all right. I appreciate you coming on here, Kelsey. Is there anything you want to add to what we've been talking about? Anything that you want the public to know or anything?
Just that answers are gonna come. Just to be patient. We're gonna find him. We don't know where he is now, but someday he's gonna mess up, and we're gonna get the answers we all deserve.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you being so strong. I really, I've seen people that don't advocate for their families and don't do things, and that really, or they're just not strong enough to go out there. They just can't handle it. But you've been amazing. I could see with like the strength that comes from your family because I see your grandma and your grandpa, and um, you know, I see everybody out there advocating for Libby, and that's really refreshing to see. And I commend you for uh, going for a degree and a career that's going to really help a lot of people. I really think that you're going to do that, and I appreciate you coming on here.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Kelsey.
No problem. Bye.
Bye. Hey, there's two me's. All right. So yeah, I don't know if some people were confused, but yeah, that was a recorded interview I did with Kelsey. She's really busy, and she took time out of her busy schedule to talk to me, and I really super appreciate it. Her and I have been talking since we went to Delphi through Twitter and stuff, and I tried to have an interview with her a while ago, but the timing never was right, and I think this was a good time to do it. Um, but yeah, she's definitely a strong person. I feel for her, and yeah, she's she's I can tell that she's going to help a lot of people in her life. She's going to be an advocate for many, many people, not just their sisters. So I really hope that they can find some kind of justice soon in this case, because it's been way too long. I mean, can you imagine 4 years? 4 years is a long time. So, yeah. And I didn't mention this earlier when we were talking about Suzanne, but today marks the 9-month anniversary since she's been missing. And 9 months, that's like a whole pregnancy, like that's a long time. That's a long time for people to not be speaking up if you know something. Especially, I know you guys probably picked up on it, but at the end of that interview, I said, I know certain situations where families don't advocate for their family members that something happened. And that's true. I mean, you know who I'm talking about. I mean, and it's really sad that you have people like Kelsey that will change her whole life, her career, her whole everything to try to answer. And then you got people that aren't. So anyway, yeah. Like my internet's a little funky. So if I cut out or something, you'll know why. Let me see what's going on here. I just want to check my internet real quick, make sure it's okay. I don't know if you all can still hear me. That's cool. So I'm gonna. Okay, I didn't realize I've been on here this long, but I'm gonna go ahead and see what you guys are talking about. I'd like to, if you have any questions for me about the new channel, about Delphi, about the Morphew case, anything else, I'll answer if I can. If I haven't answered, I'll give you one. But yeah, I think what I'm going to try to do with these lives is towards the end of them, I'll leave like the last 15, 20 minutes and just answer questions from you guys. So feel free to answer them. And I'm not saying this to get money, but if you do that little super chat thing, I'll read those first and I'm not saying that you don't have to do that. I'm just saying I'll read those first because they'll catch my attention. And plus you paid money, so I would do it, but you don't have to. I'm not begging for money. I'm not holding out a cup begging. But all right. Any questions? Bring them. I might have to scroll back. Well, I see a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people are saying that was a good interview. I was really self-conscious about that. I don't interview a whole lot of people. And, and it's such a touchy situation that I didn't want to say anything that would offend her or make her feel bad or, stuff like that. So I really do appreciate y'all telling me I did a good job, because I almost went through and like cut out some stuff, but I was like, nah, I don't want to start doing that. I'm more of the live interview kind of guy that just roll with the punches. So thank you guys for saying that. All right. What's your PayPal? Here, I'll write it right here. My PayPal is Gust. Hold on. That's wrong. Hold on. I'll look. It's in the description, but I'll give it to you anyways because you're asking for it. But I put it in there just in case. Like I said, I'm not looking for. Since I did pass the 1,000 subscriber mark, I now I get a community tab where I can post things like updates or whatever. Plus, once I get that plus 4,000 watch hours, which I'm not even close yet because I just started. But once I get that, I'll be able to monetize my channel. Right now, I don't even know if you could do those super chat things right now. Yeah, Yeah, that's somebody said that, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm so used to being able to. I forgot, guys. Don't even worry about it. I'll just answer them the best I can. Oh man, I don't have a PO box. And last time I got something in the mail, Tiffany was like, don't be giving our address out because it comes to the house. But if you want it, you can mail it. Well, no, I don't want to do that either. I was going to say I'll send you my work address, but crazy people can show up. Not saying you're crazy, but crazy people can show up at my work. So, yeah. I'll figure something out. All right. To where you can send me a book. Speaking of books, hold on a second. I want to show you the book I've been reading. It's really good. It's by somebody you guys might recognize. All right, let me take this off of here real quick. Sorry. So, here's the book I've been reading. You guys want to read a good book? Yeah, this is by Mike King. I know there's been a lot of stuff going around, but I'm not getting into all that stuff. I'm just Mike's producer, Tyler, reached out to me, and I've known Tyler for a while, not for a long time, but since all this YouTube stuff started. He is Mike's son-in-law, and he also produces the show. And he reached out to me and asked me if he could send me something. And since I knew him, I let him send me something. And that was still a touchy subject for Tiff. But I received this, and this is a good book. I'm sure y'all have heard of it, but it's about the Zion Society cult. There's some crazy, crazy people out there. And this guy, Arvin Shreve, I think his name is Arvin. I don't know, I don't remember, but not only him, but some of the ladies that lived there, and they were doing just as bad, just as messed up things as these guys. But I'm on chapter, what chapter am I on? I'm on page 135, so I'm a good ways through it. And this is the first book I've read in a long time. I didn't know if I'd be able to read it. I'm on chapter 15. But Mike, Tyler, thank you. Mike signed it too. I got an autographed copy. Yeah. But it is good. Mike's a good writer because that's a good book. I'm not kidding. And Tyler did the cover, the photo. Yeah, he's good. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. It's a good book. Ask some questions. I want to answer. Yeah, it was nice. So, Barbara said that was nice. Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure they sent one to Tyson too because he asked me for Tyson's address also. So I haven't talked to him about it, but yeah. All right. So I'm gonna try to find some. You guys ain't even asking me questions. Yeah, that is my pay. Thanks, Strawberry Wine. That's it. Don't feel obligated to send me anything though. I'm not begging, but I appreciate it. Yeah, Judy. Good, because it's a good book. It really is. Sorry, guys. I don't think I would have paid for it because, I just don't read a whole lot of books. But I'm glad he sent it because it's good. It really is. It's interesting. And, man, you see another side of Mike that you didn't know, And then after I started reading it, I went and watched a video. I started watching a video of Dr. Phil and all the women that were girls that he rescued when they were kids. They were on there, and he was just choking up, and it was really touching, and you could tell that Mike is a really compassionate person, and he did a good thing there. Those girls love him, and I can understand why. So Yeah, thanks. This is the one my wife built. You should have seen this thing before. When we moved here, I didn't want to get this house, but Tiffany said, "Well, we could turn this into an office." And I was like laughing because there was two dogs living in here and it was all tore up and it was a mess. And I thought, there's no way. And yeah, she did it. It took 4 years for us to get it done, but yeah, she did it. I really appreciate and love her for doing it. She, I tell you what, any dream I've ever set out to do, she's always backed me. She's always had my back. She's the one that bought me my first professional camera to become a photographer, and that went really good. And yeah. So what is next? Um, if you're asking me what I'm going to do next on the show, um, I've reached out to a bunch of people. I'll tell you that to do some interviews, some more interviews. I like hearing other people's stories. Um, One of the things I want to do is um, I want to start doing more of these older cases. Breaking them down and um, talking about things that we might have forgot about in the past. Not something that's like maybe you never even heard of the cases that I'm talking about, but not the high profile ones per se, but some of the ones that have the little twists and turns, or they're pretty interesting, or um, yeah, that's probably. I mean, but I have reached out to a lot of people. There's a couple people that I'm looking at because they've lost people like Kelsey had, but in different ways. And one of them had lost a son, and I wanted to talk to her and how her life's changed over the past few years. And so I'll let you know, but I'm always going to have something going on. I'm always going to have something new. I'm always going to have something that's interesting. Hopefully, I mean, it'll be interesting to me, so hopefully it um, will be to you too. I just did. So I'm gonna find your. It says she already asked the question, so I'm gonna go up here and find your question. Oh, maybe you guys are talking about something else. I don't know. I can't follow you. So any DNA from Barry? Oh, I don't think so. I don't. I don't. I've never heard that. I mean, as far as I know, he wouldn't take a polygraph test or a voice stress test or anything like that. So yeah, I really doubt he's given any DNA up voluntarily. There's ways to get it though. I've seen some sneaky cops get some DNA, but you got to follow them peeps, and they got to be sloppy. Uh, hmm. I'm just looking through y'all's comments to see. I don't know. I can't tell what some you got. Yeah. So, um, Gigi, I hope so. I hope that I was talking earlier. I don't know if you were here yet, but I was talking earlier about a lot of people that Barry associates with have been having contact with the police as far as like getting in trouble. So hopefully, um, hopefully they'll put some pressure on some of these people and they'll start talking. And yeah, hopefully, I don't know. Thank you. I appreciate that. Beauty for Ashes. Thank you very much. I know that I could tell that. I watched a lot of interviews of Kelsey's getting prepared for this one, and man, she she never sounds like she's about to break down. She sounds like she's holding up good. I mean, even though it tore her apart to lose her sister, but she stands strong, and it's really amazing. So I know, huh? This is what an inside of our house looks like too. It's really cool because it's like a color that you could pretty much do anything with, like it matches pretty much everything. Thank you, Robin. I'm liking it. It's pretty fun. It's a lot of responsibility. Oh, you guys, that's funny. I forgot what was on there, but it's me and Charlie, I think. But yeah, thank you. Yeah. No, I'm not going to go that far back. If you're talking about the cases I was talking about, I'm definitely not going to go back that far. Yeah. No, I've got a list of about 40 cases and I don't think any of them are past well, there might be some that are in the late 90s or something, but there's none that's 30 years old, that's for sure. I forget that the 90s were a long time ago. So thank you, Nay folk. Appreciate it. I like your bandana tied like that. It looks like the ones they used to wear back in like the 50s or something with the pinup girls or whatever. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Echo Lloyd. Yeah, I talked to her daughter a few times, and I asked her if there's any way we could help, and she pretty much told me that they had a lot of people helping, but if she needed anything, she would reach out. Yeah, so there's people that are actually going to Missouri and helping. I'm pretty sure I might, if I'm thinking right, I think, dang it, I'm bad with names. The guy from The Missing, I'm going to remember his name in a minute. Him and his wife are on there. They're really good. I like them. I think you're talking about Barry. Yeah, maybe. I mean, that would be smart if they did. I was going to say something kind of mean. I might say it anyways. If I was them, I probably would have rubbed that toothbrush on the toilet or something. But, that's just me. And don't make me mad if your toothbrush is in my vicinity. Yep, there is. There's a bunch of ways to get DNA. You're right. Yep. On the movies, they wait till you're, drinking it out of a glass or something like that. Or I don't know what y'all are saying, but somebody asking the question, you guys don't got to fight, in here. If you ask the question, I'd be more than happy to answer it. But oh, yeah. I remember this. I was in Colorado or Indiana, one of the two, when I heard this because I was listening to a podcast, and I heard this about it was a former pastor, and they were at a funeral, and Barry got done eating, and he went to get rid of. It wasn't plastic dishes; it was like china he was trying to throw away, and they thought he was crazy, but I think that's what he was doing. He didn't want them to get DNA off it or something. So, yeah. She really is. I've got time. I'm going to post it, but I've got time-lapse videos when we were hanging drywall in here, and you guys could see the difference. And not only is Tiffany the best, her brother Brandon is amazing, and her mom. All three of them are. See this wall right here? I think it's this one. Well, they extended this one out, and then if you go around the corner, there's a closet that they built because that was all just one wall. And then there's a bathroom in there with a shower and stuff. They built all that stuff. And over there is like one of those tankless water heaters. And then right there's a little heater that Tiffany and I put in the wall. And then there's one window right over here. And then there's like when people come to visit, there's like a trundle bed right over there that you can pull out from on the bottom. There's a mattress that comes out, and then there's one on the top. So yeah, when people come to visit, we got a little extra room, and they got their own bathroom and everything. So okay, how is your channel different from the old one? Well, it's different because I'm by myself. Yeah, I'm just kind of, I think it was time for Tyson and I just to do our own thing. It's hard collaborating all the time and trying to match up schedules, especially when you live all the way across the United States. It's not easy. And it's also not easy when you both work full time and you're trying to match up schedules and you're trying to do this and that. Yeah, so it's different because Tyson has his own things he wants to do, and I have my own things I want to do. And I'm going to probably let my creative side just do whatever, because I like to do creative stuff. I like to think outside the box, and I like to try things that I've never seen before. I like to also watch after successful people and maybe see what they all have in common that I could emulate a little bit, not copy, but what are the patterns that they use that can make me successful like they are. So yeah, I don't think I saw your question either, but yeah, I mean, you can ask me a question right now and I'll answer it. Rebecca, that's my church buddy and my friend. You know what? Her husband, Tony, he came and worked on this. He brought this little bit over that we used to hang the drywall. That made it so much easier. You can definitely read that book, and I also have another book for you. I took it to church, and then I didn't get to talk to Tony. So it's a Kirtland book. So yeah, you can have both of them when I'm done with this one. This won't take me long. If I ever write a book, Rebecca's going to help me. She's the best. Okay. I'm just going to say that I can't talk about this right now. Okay. That's all I could say. I was asked nicely. Not by, yeah. I'm just going to leave it at that. I should probably even said that, but yep. I knew it. It's cool. It's like that girl on American Pickers, Danielle. Yeah, she wears it like that sometimes. I like that show. Question. See, yeah, put up that question, and then I'll see that like a lot quicker if you write that. Okay. What do you think of heat-seeking drone used on night of search not picking up girls' body warmth in the place they were found? Maybe they had been dead too long. I don't know. They were probably killed close to right after the guy told them to go down the hill. If you're talking about Abby and Libby, I'm pretty sure you are. Yeah, I don't know. I watched the what you call it, the news chopper footage, and you can see a lot down there. So I'm not sure why. It's not like the trees were covered with leaves or anything like that. Even if they were, you'd be able to see that. But Another explanation of this would be another theory I've heard is they were taken from the site and then brought back. That's why that people like that guy that I was reading that stuff from said the body disposal site instead of the crime scene, because maybe they were killed somewhere else and just dumped there. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they could have, and they might have. Yeah, definitely. It says, if someone has information on a case, do you have the phone number for law enforcement? I do have some phone numbers depending on which case. If you want to email me at the 321report@gmail.com, I can, and tell me where you're talking about. I might have some contact info for you. I do have some for people in Colorado. So this is an interesting question, because there are some other rumors I've heard. It says Suzanne may be out there under the salvage yard at DSI. So this is an interesting fact here. One time I saw that Jeff Puckett had posted on Facebook that his Dodge Durango got stolen, and you know where they found it? Out at DSI. That's where it was. So he was thinking that, apparently from the rumors I heard, he was thinking he was getting set up, like something got transported in that truck or something, like a body. All right. What do you think? Oh, yeah, I already saw that. Sorry, Carol. Amen. That's funny. Yeah, yep. I've heard that's where he gets a lot of his work, is through them. Thank you, Judy. Why doesn't BM have a toolbox on his truck? Seems odd he didn't at one time. I think he does. Let me look. When I'm going to get this ready, I'll probably show it in the next. I've been sitting on some video from when I went out there in October, of when I found Barry's condo and I was driving around it, and there's his truck's out there. There's a few other vehicles, and then I flew my drone over it. So, I mean, I don't think it's on there now. Oh, man, I can't look right now because I'm going through all this, but I'll get back to you, Joy Catcher, on that one. Is what a real story? You talking about the Jeff Puckett thing? I don't know. That's what I heard. Probably not. I wouldn't guess. Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, I don't know why they would want Barry's DNA, unless they can match it to Delphi or something. I don't know. But yeah, they're not going to find Suzanne, probably. I mean, I hate to say that. Hopefully they do, but gosh, it's not looking like it. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it is about being comfortable for sure. I've realized this about myself. I'm way more comfortable in this setting than I am recording something. And I don't know if it's because I have to go. I've never went back and watched any of these that I do. I just can't, because I'll pick myself apart and I can't. It makes Tiffany started playing one in the house on her phone, and I was like, I freaked out. I got really anxious because I can't hear my own voice and I can't watch myself. When we were in Indiana, Tyson played one in the hotel room, and I had to put my headphones on and turn it all the way up because I didn't want to hear it. But he watches them all, but I can't. Yeah, that was as far as I know, that was a true story. I don't think it was made up. So does Barry still do landscaping? Does he have employees? Sorry if you already covered it. I didn't really, I don't know that, but I did go over like when he got a loan and it said he had 9 employees to cover payroll for, and he got a loan for 54,000. And I don't think he ever had 9 employees, to be honest with you. If he did, we haven't even got to half of those. Yeah. What do you think about the Chafee sheriff's silence? He's doing a Barry. Barry stated that he has cop friends and they say to be quiet. Yeah, that guy. I'm just gonna say I'm not really impressed with that guy, to be honest with you. So I'll just tell you this. Whenever Tyson has a friend that went to help search up in Colorado when Andy was there. And he's from Indiana. And this guy went up, saw this guy parked somewhere. He went up to him and asked him a question. The guy freaked out and drove off. And he said, man, that was really weird. He's acting really weird because all he did was ask about somebody he was related to and that they were out at the search. And I don't know if I'm being very clear on that, but I can't really use names, so I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but yeah. No, I don't know what no means. This will help you in all aspects in life, Dusty. I'm serious. They say to do this just for better self. Yeah, I think it will too, actually. Like it gives me it gives me a little more self-confidence, I guess, to do this. But I also like the research part of it is probably one of my favorite things. I've always liked mysteries, and I've always been one of those guys that can figure out like a movie plot halfway through, and then I just ruin it for people. So I have to learn to shut up whenever I'm watching a movie or whatever. So yeah, when I was a kid, there was a library right next to our house. I mean, right next door to our house. And I would go over there and just read books. And a lot of them were murder mysteries or stuff like that. And I got interested in them when I was pretty young. And so I love doing the research stuff. It's a lot of fun. And with all you helping me, like you send me stuff and it leads me down these trails and down these rabbit holes. And I really enjoy that part of it. I wish I had more time to follow more of them, but I do work a lot. So let me think. Okay. I'm not going to say who this is, but I talked to somebody not too long ago. I hope they don't get mad that I'm sharing this, but I mean, they didn't say not to, and I'm not giving names. Somebody went up to Barry's house and was knocking on the door. Barry wasn't there. This person was getting ready to leave, and Mallory came walking up. And this guy, well, now you know it's a guy, but this guy said that he couldn't think of what he was going to say, so he just asked if Barry was around, said he wanted some work. And she said, no, he's not here, but she invited him in the house. Doesn't know him. Okay. There's one thing that I could think of that's wrong with that. Back when Barry was talking to that other reporter, not Lauren, but the other one when he was showing all the love cards or whatever from Suzanne to him, he said that they were selling the house because the girls were scared that whoever took Suzanne was going to come back or something like that. So is that a scared person that invites a total stranger into the house to come in when they're looking for their dad and you never even met him before? I mean, this stuff just keeps piling up. It's just a bunch of, like they lie all the time. They make up excuses for why they're doing shady stuff. And so, yeah. And I believe this person. They're pretty reliable. So, no, of course you don't. Nobody does that. Who does that? Nobody. So, anyway, I'm trying not to. I sometimes I don't know what I'm supposed to talk about and what I'm not. So I'm trying to just take what I get, and I keep it to myself sometimes. But when people ask me questions, it's like I really want to tell them this because they're asking me, and I want to answer their question truthfully. So. I didn't say it. Yeah. Amen. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I asked him why I didn't go in there and turn on his camera or something, to see what, but I would be kind of scared to go anywhere near their house, especially on their property. I don't know what their laws are out there with shooting somebody that's on your property or something. I have to ask Matt for sure, but in his video, I heard there was 2 texts inside instead of 3, which stated that. Oh, okay. I think y'all are talking about the Delphi stuff, about that drone. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that stuff. I mean, if there's this Matt knows, I would definitely ask him. Yes, it was. I was talking about that a little bit earlier. I had contacted her, asking her to come on the show. The times didn't match up where she could come on live because of her classes, and plus she works. So I asked her if she would like to record an interview, and she said, yeah. And I asked her when, and sorry, I got hit you. I wasn't picking my nose, I promise. But I asked her when she wanted to come on, and she gave me a time, and that's when we did it. It was like yesterday morning, pretty early. I think it was like 9 o'clock. I mean, that's not early for me. I already been up for a few hours, but yeah, early. Hey, that's a good idea. You know what? If you guys want to do, this is a good idea, Judy. And if you guys want to email me questions, or if you want to email me suggestions for guests or cases you want to hear about or anything like that, just email me. It's the 321 report, like and then the 321 numbers, and then report at gmail.com. I'll put it right here. I'm the slowest typer in the world. Yeah, I'll be more than happy to take any suggestions y'all have, or constructive criticism or destructive criticism or whatever. Well, thank you. I'm a lot more organized, and I'm a lot more. I mean, I've got a brand new studio. I'm pumped. Love it. Yeah, I'm gonna get that together. And I don't have like the whole process, but I do have putting up. I got different parts I could put together, but I do have a cool time lapse where me and Charlie were putting together this Lego Millennium Falcon that he got me for Christmas. He's learned how to do it. He gets me stuff for my presents that he wants to play with too, that he knows I'll love, so we can spend time together. It's a smart kid. So, all right. Well, you know what? It's 4 minutes to 2 hours. It's long show. Sorry, but yeah, I really enjoy you guys coming on here. Thanks for subscribing and stuff, because I mean I got to 1,000 pretty quick. Hopefully it'll keep going, and yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I appreciate y'all saying. If any, I couldn't remember who all asked to moderate, but I got a couple people on there, and if you want to, just send me an email or something or a message on the channel, and I'll be glad to add you all. So, all right, guys, thank you. Appreciate you being here. It's fun. I look forward to more, and I'm not going to wait a whole week to put something else out. I'll probably put out a little short video like I did for the weekend if I get any updates. Even if I don't get updates, I'll put something on there about what I'm looking at doing next week. Or I'm gonna eventually get to the point where I'm probably putting something up several times a week, and it's not going to be just overloading you. It'll be all be interesting stuff. I'm not going to put nothing out just to put stuff out. So just let you know. So, all right, appreciate you guys. I'll see you again soon. Thanks for hanging out. Adios. Bye bye.